What's up, family? This is your man, not your boy. Go Black to Africa. I want to share this video because here it is. One of the European leaders out here will sit and speak about the injustices that most of the European countries have done when it came to playing their part in moving the Palestinians out of their land and ushering in what we know today called the land of Israel. Listen to this because I want to come back and hit on the African countries who remain silent in the movement for black people in America, South America, especially Brazil, and the islands that are there. Check the video out and I'll be back.
Every single thing she said in it was a lie. It's time those lies were called out directly.
75 years ago, a dream was realized with Israel's Independence Day.
Between 1947 and 1949, 3/4 of all Palestinians living in historic Palestine were systematically uprooted and violently expelled from their homes and villages by Zionist militias. Over 4 million acres of land were stolen, 400 towns destroyed, hundreds of Palestinians massacred during the events that led to the creation of the Israeli state. This may have been the realization of a dream for Zionists, but for Palestinians, it was the beginning of a nightmare that has continued for over 70 years. The invasion and destruction of their homeland and their transformation into a colonized people. These events are known to them not as Israeli independence, but as the Nakba, the catastrophe. Describing the Nakba as a dream is a provocation, a deliberate and cruel insult to millions of Palestinians all over the world. It is unacceptable and must be condemned.
After the greatest tragedy in human history, the Jewish people could finally build a home in the Promised Land.
A German politician describing the Holocaust as a tragedy is Holocaust revisionism. It's a denial of responsibility for carrying out that crime. A tragedy is a terrible but unavoidable event for which no one is really responsible. That's not a tragedy. It's a genocide, a crime against humanity. German politicians are the leading Zionists in Europe today. From right to left, Germany's political class back Israel through thick and thin. In return, the Israeli state is expected to help the German establishment to leave its Holocaust guilt in the past. But the Holocaust can't be shrugged off like this, and Israel's crimes against Palestinians cannot and will not be ignored.
75 years of dynamism, ingenuity, and groundbreaking innovations. You have literally made the desert bloom.
Israel did not make the desert bloom. The very phrase "make the desert bloom" is an infamous Zionist lie, which denies the prior existence of Palestinians in their own homeland. It's so brazen in its revision of history that it's the equivalent to proposing that the earth is flat. And to hear a notorious propaganda lie like this come out of the mouth of the President of the European Commission is beyond disgraceful. Palestine before the occupation wasn't empty. It wasn't a land without a people for a people without a land. It was continuously inhabited for millennia by diverse peoples and communities, including Muslims, Christians, and Jews. It has a rich, proud history, culture, and traditions. The region was blooming long before the Zionist occupation, and it still blooms despite it. The image of Israel as a democracy is crumbling before the eyes of the world. Von der Leyen describing Israel as a vibrant democracy now, at this moment, is protesting too much. It only makes it clearer what we already know. Israel is not a democracy.
What do you think? Let me say this right here. Why is the African countries remaining silent when most have played an important part or a terrible part in selling Africans into the slave trade to the Portuguese, to the Brits, to the French, and else other countries? Here we see today that it is evident that the mistreatment by the prejudice and biases that have continued for hundreds of years in these countries, Africa has remained silent. Though you have your seat in the AU, in the UN, and you also have your voice in NATO, that you remain quiet in these treatments. Why? Many of us have come back to the motherland of Africa. Many of us trying to get away from the Western world. And yet you have not opened and embraced many of us. Countries like Ghana have done a small percentage of handing out citizenships, but not making the road back to the motherland easy for many. They have not brought up any initiatives for the brothers and sisters who are trying to make their way into the motherland. None of the countries have. Many have just remained docile and quiet. Why is it that we cannot stand up for our people and have a voice to these institutions or organizations that we see that are being violated? Human rights. Yet you allow them to come in your countries and talk about human rights. You do not have the discussions of the mistreatment and the vain attitudes that many of the West have against your people. Why, Africa, have you not united with each other and said, let's be a voice? Why have you not opened the door to the return for it to make it easier for the brothers and sisters to come? Why have you made it such a hard bureaucracy of red tape for people trying to come back, and you have no initiatives? You have no agendas. You have no programs for the people to come settle in and land softly into the motherland. Why can't you decide amongst yourselves as leaders to make this happen? Many of you all want us to bring our American dollar and boost your economies up. Many of you all want us to come and establish business and give jobs to your people. But what are you doing for us? I am tired of traveling the 28 countries I've been in Africa, and everybody's doing this. Why can't people lend a hand for our people coming back into Africa? Why is the government making it hard for us to come through immigrations, residency, business licenses? This should be an easy road. While America has made it easy for these other countries to come into its land that are immigrants that look like them, European descent, that they can have easy roadmaps to come and start businesses, have money handed to them, have things that are already opened and welcome to them to come and start their life as smooth as possible. We have to wake up and realize that Africa, you have a greater, especially West Africa, have a greater responsibility to its people. Though many are arguing with their countries they're coming from for reparations, you owe reparations, Africa, in a big way. And it's time, because of the land that you have, the resources that you have, you can easily make way for many to get out of a bad situation in these European countries, in Americas, in South America, and in Central America, dealing with these governments that they call it democracy, that is nothing more than a bias and prejudice system against our people, that you have the power to create something yourself. It's time to rise up. This is your man, not your boy. Go black to Africa.
Think about it, 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 think about it.